This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. Only the host, their guests, and their callers. Okay? Because it's time for Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce to present Joanne's World of Nutrition with the one and only Joanne Seeger.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. All right, Cliff, I just noticed something on the TV screen. Is the Queen's funeral going on right at this very moment?
Well, she's back. She's at Westminster Hall.
All right.
Now.
Well, I might have lost the attention of some of the listeners then. So if you want to pay attention to that on the news, that's okay because
she should have went to Nutrition World and got supplements.
There we go. Well, she lived a long life, right?
Hey, if you take good vitamins and nutrition, you'll get to live long like
That's
her.
right. But it's okay because you're an expert at recording and posting it later. So you know what? If you need to check out what's happening there, I totally understand.
Of the funeral? No.
No, that's okay. But yeah, I don't watch the news. I really rarely ever watch TV. So no, let's clarify. I don't call Netflix TV. I call it movies. So yes, I'm obsessed with Netflix. Yeah. But yeah, so wow, okay, pretty cool. All right, so happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's having a fantastic morning. The subject of today definitely was prompted by a question from my daughter, but before we go in, I'll get your curiosity going what the question was, right? Is we have to do our breath work. And because I had a few extra sips of coffee, I definitely need the breath work myself to calm and focus and get my mental clarity. So if you're like me and you feel like, whoa, I need to breathe, join me. We're just going to exhale out any stress.
That might help everybody.
Everyone, right?
Yeah.
And I love your line. It's free to all. All can participate. All right. So any newbies, super simple. I change up the count sometimes, but we're going to make it real easy today. 5 in, hold for 5, 5 out, and we'll do 3 rounds to get me nice and calm and focused. Okay, everyone? Right. So join me. All right,
first,
exhale.
Let's release all the negativity, and now through the nasal passages only, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now again, in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, release slowly. 2, 3, 4, 5. One more in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you, sir. You know, I had a little tiny bit too much caffeine when the first session of the breath work. I'm bobbing my head to go along with the counting.
Yeah, that ruins the relaxation, right? The calm and relaxed state. Now, if you have to fidget, that's exerting energy and calories and all that.
And I got to be honest, with all my clients, I use breath work. And I can't decide which one's my favorite at this point because there's so many great benefits to like a long exhale out, to holding a little longer, sometimes a short breath if you're feeling tired and just like a little sad. But definitely investigate this for yourself. I mean, you just, whether you're working or driving, you can check out breath work and find what's good for you. But please don't underthink it. Like, it is so important for your optimal health. And if you're dealing with a condition, it's definitely a great way to start stepping out of that condition. So breath work, big, big, big. All right, Wellness Center, we are still offering my coaching special. So we only have a couple more weeks of this special. So if you've ever wanted to meet me, come into the store and check out our Wellness Center, now is the time. Before all our snowbirds get here and we're nice and calm. It is a coaching special where normally you get 10 sessions for $250, which you can incorporate any of the wellness services with, like ion foot detox, infrared sauna, which we have near, mid, and far for our infrared. That's really important. Most infrared saunas are just mid and far. And then we have the PEMF map, pulse electromagnetic frequency, state-of-the-art devices that a lot of wellness centers can charge thousands for. You get normally 10 sessions for $250. The summer special is it's unlimited for the month. So you can come as many times as your schedule allows, and you get one coaching session a week for the package.
You can categorize this in your budget under pamper yourself.
Yes, and I have some really exciting stories already for people that are taking advantage. Their health is already shifting within 10 days, sometimes a couple weeks. And again, health is just not monitored by weight loss or, a reversal of a condition. It's, energy levels, mood levels, mobility, bowel movements. There's so many other ways to really see. Sometimes we're all just like all or nothing. But, each and every day, if you have one more hour of really clear energy where you can get what needs to be completed in a day done successfully, or you get that extra hour of sleep without having to get up to use the restroom. I mean, to me, that's life-changing because all those little things add up. So you have to, just make a step. Come meet me. We all have fun over there at the Wellness Center. It's a lot of fun, and we definitely accommodate all schedules. So definitely check out that special before it's gone, okay? So the question that my daughter asked, it was kind of a little bit sad, and I was kind of not sure about how to answer it, but, she's 12, and she's already, has her menstrual cycle, and her body looks like a young lady, yet, all the friends around her, including her stepsister, are a lot of these tiny young ladies, right? And so she gets conflicted. So here's the question. She looks at me and said, Mom, if everyone knows the right thing to do, especially with diet and food, why do we still do the bad things? Right?
That's an easy
And unfortunately, my intuition in my mind went right to addiction.
Yep.
But do I want to look at my 12-year-old and tell her, well, you're an addict, right? Because she is, and I am. And, they're all different type of addictions in the life and in our lives. And some people think only drugs. But unfortunately, it's not just drugs and alcohol. There are so many food addictions. I kind of blame sugar as the biggest one, the most difficult one. But in turn, it's like that whole reward system, the social system, the, epigenetics. Like everything is evolving around these food addictions. And to me, that's the only explanation why we would choose something that doesn't benefit us and could actually kill us.
If sugar was just invented, it would have a heck of a time getting approved by the FDA.
Well, we could have a whole show about the FDA, Cliff, but not sure. I think they would still approve it.
I don't know.
I hate to say it because I look at the grocery stores day after day, and I find it more difficult each and every visit to find something that would do no harm and would do benefit. So this show, which I love to try to keep positive and hopeful, is going to be about how to bring in things to crowd out the bad stuff. So because addiction of any form is very difficult. So I'm going to try to make it where using many of my mentors' information, give you some ideas to crowd out the bad stuff. Okay, so one of my mentors said that, and I'm going to give you all her information later in the show. But definitely let's look at this as a positive show, something to have ideas that you can not only share with your family, because remember, sometimes it takes a tribe. If you're doing this alone in your home and you have loved ones there that aren't really aware of what your motives are, it can become even more difficult. So you really want to get everyone on board with this, which I know firsthand how difficult it is, especially with young children. So, but we're going to give you some ideas and see how you do. All right. So, and like I said, even the small, I always say this when I'm coaching people, I don't care how small your progress is or what tiny little step you're willing to take. Any step in the right direction is the right direction. So you can't fault yourself for that step. I have one client that was not emotionally ready to make big changes. So all I had her do is take her sweet tea and cut it half each time she drank it. So when she got it served, she just drank half. And that made a huge impact on her health, just that one little step. Now everyone is different, and you know, I try to find little tricks to help guide them to the direction they want to go. But you know, just remember, don't give up on yourself. Any step is the right direction, and even if the next day is difficult, that's okay. You find another step. Just keep going. All right, so our produce, you know, we're all told to eat more vegetables, more fruits and more vegetables. And so there are many people that get confused when they step into the produce section with the best intentions, and they want to buy veggies for themselves or their families, and they get overwhelmed. And sometimes it can be a little bit expensive if they're trying to choose the correct produce. So I just want to shed some light on a couple resources that might help you decide which produce is right for you. So I do stress on this show many times, maybe hundreds of times, that organic is your best option. But sometimes you look at the price tags of organic and you're like, really? I don't think so. So I don't want to deter you away from eating produce just because you feel like you can't budget for organic. But if you're out there buying a coffee drink at 3 o'clock, come on, you got to get your priorities in line, right? So, all right. So there is what you can find online, okay, called the Dirty Dozen List. Now, the Dirty Dozen List is a legit list that's been done for years by the Environmental Working Group. And they go through most of the produce selections that we have here in the United States, and they triple wash them, and they determine how many pesticides are on there. And this is really important that they do this for us, because sometimes, you know, we just go into the produce section and just assume because it's a fruit or vegetable, it's healthy for us and it could do no harm. Unfortunately, that is not the truth. Okay, so if you go to the Dirty Dozen List, you know, that's where you'll find what things absolutely to buy organic. Okay, but I promised some positive stuff. So Dr. Chris was here at my store yesterday. If my listeners don't know who Dr. Chris is, he's incredible. He's my functional medicine doctor that comes to the store. He's trained in functional medicine, but he's a doctor of Oriental medicine. He comes to the store twice a month, and he sees my customers that do need a little more help with their health, and he's incredible. So he showed me that there is not only the Dirty Dozen list, but there is the Fab 14 list that you can use, okay, to really get more into your diet. So the Fab 14 you can find online, or he has a list, what he calls the Terrible 20, from that same website, and those are, you know, a little more advanced than the Dirty Dozen. But whether you start with the Dirty Dozen list or the Terrible 20, I'm going to give you an idea of what things are on that list, okay? So kale, unfortunately, is usually the number one thing on the Dirty Dozen list. Now, keep in mind, I have so many clients that they get super excited to share with me when we're going over their food journals that they're doing these smoothies every morning and they're throwing in these big handfuls of kale and spinach, definitely with the best intentions, trying to get healthy. So it saddens me that I have to, after their excitement kind of calms and we move on a little, share with them the Dirty Dozen list, because if you are concentrating these amount of GMO or pesticide-rich foods, then you're putting your detoxification pathways under more stress, okay? Where there are plenty of fruits and vegetables that you can put in your smoothies that are not as full of those pesticides. And not only is it a problem of the pesticides that they spray on these crops, but it's also how the soil's been treated. Sometimes there are crops like strawberries, so kale and strawberries usually compete for the number one worst non-organic produce item. Strawberries, to me, if you taste an organic strawberry and then you taste a non-organic, you definitely can tell the difference. And I know I everyone tells me I have a really good nose. I can smell like a hound, but still, really the taste is so different, at least with strawberries. But there is the other problem, like for instance with the strawberries I mentioned, that they also sterilize the soil. So it's basically like how antibiotics sterilize your gut. They're sterilizing the soil to make sure there's nothing possibly going to interfere with that strawberry growth, good or bad. It literally wipes out everything. So that strawberry grows without the nutrition that you would intend to take in. So that really makes me sad. And there's not much money for the study of soil, because they really don't want to let us know that all this produce that we're spending money on is not benefiting us. But just to give you a reference, there was one study that was done in 2004 with one nutrient content, okay? Because again, studies cost a lot of money. They're not willing to put it in this. And they studied one nutrient, which is a B vitamin, vitamin B2, and they checked the content of 43 different fruits and vegetables. And what they found, that between 1950 and 1999, there was almost a 40% decline in the nutrient. Okay, so it's exactly 38%. And that might not seem like a big deal because they only studied that one nutrient. But this nutrient, B2, riboflavin, that is in your almost 38 trillion cells, okay? Its function is for proper development of skin, the lining of the digestive tract, and blood and brain cells, okay? Now, if anyone has heard my other shows on leaky gut syndrome, and that's when your intestinal permeability, remember, your intestines govern the brain, all your neurotransmitters, dopamine, GABA, serotonin. If that is not functioning right and you have leaky gut, your digestion, your detoxification, your absorption, your entire body suffers. And that is just one nutrient, okay? So we definitely want to make sure that we're getting as many nutrients as possible. So again, let's go to the Dirty Dozen. I'm trying to keep this positive. I'm having a difficult time with it. All right. So here is, actually I'm going to go by the terrible 20 because I can read this print easier with my glasses. All right. So corn, papaya, and it does say Hawaiian papaya, yellow squash and zucchini, lettuce, blueberries, the kale that I mentioned, hot peppers, potatoes, soybeans, snap peas. That one surprised me a bit. I was a little sad about that one. Cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers, spinach, celery, grapes, strawberries, nectarines, peaches, apples. So, it's a little sad, right? Reading those things. But again, if you can't get organic always, I have noticed that Peru has never let Monsanto into their country. And so they've never used the GMO seeds, and they still use birds of prey and that type of like insects eating like falcons and what is the other word? Eagles to eliminate pest control for their crops. So I don't know. I haven't been there for a long time. Let's see, my daughter's 12, so 12 years. But that's something to consider. Like their asparagus from Peru, I would definitely trust it, or some other produce that might come from there. But here is the list of the foods that are really high in nutrition in general, the Fab 14 they're giving you. And so that's mushrooms, okay, sweet potatoes, cauliflower, cantaloupe, grapefruit, eggplant, kiwi, mangoes, asparagus, I just mentioned that, onions, sweet peas, I love that because that's so easy when you have a family and kids, cabbage, pineapples, and avocados. I was thrilled about avocados. Even like all my mentors say, you do not have to worry about organic when it comes to avocados. When they go on sale, buy tons. I saw this little hack on a Pinterest or something, and where they basically scooped out all their avocados when they were ripe with an ice cream scooper and put them on wax paper on a cookie sheet and froze them. So that way you can just use them when it's handy, because I've wasted so many avocados because like I'll only eat a half, it's so filling, and then the other half will go brown, and then even though I heard it's still okay, gross. Who wants to eat a brown avocado, right?
Have you tried the cauliflower rice made with cauliflower? Yes,
I have. So now, into like a whole nother nutrition thing, but I'm a blood type 0. We don't do well with cauliflower. So it's not my friend in large quantities. Like I can eat a little bowl of cauliflower and be fine. But if I start doing those concentrated, like a cauliflower crust, the cauliflower rice, it's a little tricky for me. But I'm thrilled that those options are there, because as I will go over in just a minute, doing lower carbs and refined processed foods, of course, is always the goal. So these alternatives that were not available when I was trying to do all this is available now. I mean, at every supermarket you can get cauliflower rice. But really just, look when you go to the supermarket. Again, back of package, guys, ingredients. They know you're looking for healthier versions. They know you're looking for low carb, but go to ingredients still. Junk is still junk, even if it's zero sugar.
Mask the sugar into something else.
Yeah, exactly. So,
all
right. So when we get back, we're going to talk about polyphenols, antioxidants, MS, Parkinson's, lots of amazing, interesting stuff. Be right back, guys.
Why we have developed 4 different.
Hi, this is Joanne from Nutrition World and Wellness Center. I am really excited to introduce new guests and topics to my show every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. here on WPSL, where my listeners can call in on any topic. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to find it. We want to help you become the best version of yourself. We'll have naturopaths, coaches, and of course, Dr. Ravi will be here every month as usual. I am looking forward to sharing my years of experience with my listeners so we can enjoy this life journey together.
Visit Joanne's Nutrition World in the Kras Square, formerly known as the Arcade Building, located at US 1 and Orange Avenue, across from Fort Pierce City Hall. Open Monday through Friday from 10 to 4, Saturdays 10 to 3. Taking appointments for the Wellness Center online at joannesnutritionworld.com or call 772-464-3598.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
We're back now. Joanne's World of Nutrition is back, and so's the host, Joanne Seeger.
Hey everyone, thanks for spending some time with me this morning. I'm definitely trying to stay positive with the topic this morning, which is why do we sometimes eat things that we know for sure do not benefit the body? And I reference addiction, which I confess to. I'm not sure if it makes it better that I actually say it out loud to customers and listeners, but I do struggle. I mean, I am a foodie. I love food. You'll never find me at a drive-thru. You'll never find me drinking artificial sweeteners. I definitely have a hard line for MSG and really junk food. But, you give me, a flourless chocolate cake with homemade whipping cream. Oh, yeah, I'm all about it. So I just definitely want you to know, my heart is right there with you if you have your challenges in health. And, again, just to repeat, one step in the right direction is okay. And no one's judging you. Sometimes we judge ourselves so harshly. So just remember, any progress in the right direction is progress. And so that comes to a question I ask my clients. What is it that you can commit to 100% without feeling defensive, without getting nervous, without thinking that you're going to fail again? What is one thing that you commit to? Maybe it is the breath work. Maybe it is just doing. My massage therapist said, Joanne, why don't I'm on a large cul-de-sac. Why don't you just do a brisk walking around your cul-de-sac a few times each morning? And right away, that whole, I'm a busy mom. I have to take care of a house. I work 6 days a week. I have a business. I have clients. That mentality was all ready to come out and just really defend myself. And I said, wait a sec. All she's asking me to do is walk 3 times around a cul-de-sac. Duh, I can do this. So again, you gotta get that, that negative brain out of the way and just really look at it like black and white. Wait, we can do this, And I'm great with my clients, and they'll come to me and say, wow, yes, thank you for the motivation. But sometimes everyone needs a little motivation themselves. So everyone needs a little mentor and motivator. So thank you, Marianne. I'm doing it. All right. So yes. So think about what you can commit to 100%. But the vegetables, if you are kind of going, oh, Joanne, I've tried to do the 10 servings a day, which we're supposed to do. That's a little intimidating, right? 10 servings of vegetables a day. Isn't that crazy?
I found...
And that's not fruit. That's just vegetables.
I found what looked like ground beef, but it was made of vegetables.
Oh. And remind me after this to discuss that. I hope you didn't buy that.
Well,
did you buy it?
I bought a very small one. I was surprised. It tastes like a greasy hamburger to me.
Yeah, so yours could be an exception, but the packaging I've read for those type of products... Oh boy, yeah, really, it's the worst ingredients mixed in with it.
Wow.
So I don't know which. Into that first. That's what I mean. So in the front, they show this rainbow of colors and vegetables and all these promises of lower heart disease and lower cancer risk. Yeah. But oh no, it's still filled with starch and the worst produce selections, probably the junk that they couldn't sell.
They couldn't sell it, so they
exactly.
They make processed
exactly,
hot dogs
because they
stuff.
do that with every industry. There's always a byproduct that they have to sell and use. They're not stupid. They're like, okay, let's take this waste and all of a sudden make it into a new marketing campaign and make some moolah. All right. Positive again. Stay positive. All right. So if you are struggling and you want the most nutrition for your vegetables, what you want to look for is what they call polyphenols and antioxidants. So polyphenols, I absolutely love that word, one, because I can say it and know how to spell it, and antioxidants. So polyphenols are in the news big time right now. There is money being researched on polyphenols. The olive oil study I mentioned just last week 6 spoonfuls a day. I think it was 6, or was it 4 only? All right, Matt, if you know that answer, text me. 4 or 6 spoonfuls a day was a 95% reduction in cancer risk. Okay, so like I said, crowd out the bad stuff. Start adding raw, extra virgin, really good quality olive oil to your diet. Don't cook with it, okay? Spoon it on top of whatever you're eating. Even if you're eating a couple poached eggs, scrambled eggs, or you're still eating bread, put it on the bread. Just get it into your diet. Crowd out the bad guys, okay? So polyphenols are incredible. But if you pair the polyphenol vegetables and fruits with the antioxidants group, then you're getting a double whammy for your body. It's helping your microbiome, which I just mentioned is like the control center for your entire body. It's going to fuel your trillions of cells to give them all the I said information, but that is actually a correct word. The information the cell needs to perform properly. Call it nutrients, information, depending on how you think the body works. But either way, you definitely want a good, for your money, you want to get the most nutrition, okay? So I love what the first 2 things that are on the list. Are you ready for this, Cliff?
Absolutely.
Okay. Cocoa powder and dark chocolate. Oh my God. I have I literally, my hair is standing up in my arms because, yesterday was National or International Chocolate Day, and I missed it, and my husband didn't celebrate that with me. So he can make up for it later, honey, if you're listening. We can pretend it's yesterday. But yes, so now, of course, it goes with what's real chocolate. So we are not talking about a Hershey's bar, okay? So cocoa powder has the highest polyphenol content of any other food. So just to give you an idea, cocoa powder is like 3,488 milligrams, okay? And this is going by a 4-ounce serving for all these foods. And green tea, to give you a little reference point, which is always touted in the supplements, like we sell tons of green tea for its green tea content. People drink green tea all the time. They hear about all the studies from Japan with the green tea, from China stopping heart disease and cancer risk. So green tea only has 89 milligrams. Okay, so again, cocoa powder, 3,488. So that's 3,400 more than the green tea. So if you do have, whether you're going low carb and you're going to follow a keto recipe, or you're still in that transition away from sugar, you can put real dark cocoa powder. It's available everywhere into your choices. There are some customers, and now that I'm remembering, we used to do this 4 years ago. Put it in their coffee or their hot beverage in the morning, or into their smoothies or protein shakes. So let's go back to that. Cocoa powder, as long as it doesn't have any sugar, creamer, anything messing with it,
now, Nestle's
is
Quick
incredible.
is not cocoa powder.
Oh my God, I know, right? So I none of my listeners would ever do that. I hope
They'd know that. I hope, but just in case.
Yeah, but that gets me so excited. And to number 2 is dark chocolate. Now, when your sugar monster is like having cravings, I know you're not going to be craving a 86% dark chocolate bar. That's not normally how the body works. But if you can start giving the body that little piece of that really high-end dark chocolate, we sell it at the store. I think it's everywhere now, that real high-quality dark chocolate. Yes, it's bitter. But so one of my mentors does a trick where he takes that 1 ounce square and it's Terry from Terry Naturally. He leaves it on his tongue, and just really getting that polyphenol content going and getting that mind going. You're satisfied. You're okay. This will pass, So give that trick a try. And 1 ounce of that dark chocolate is an amazing antidepressant. Okay? Now, no sugar, guys, okay? Now, most of the bitter ones, if they have sugar, it's like less than 1 gram. So even the strictest keto can handle that 1 ounce serving, okay? So definitely, oh, I just noticed what the next thing was. I didn't even read this. So flaxseed meal. So flaxseed has always been number 1 for like breast cancers, uterine cancers, to avoid those cancers. So flaxseed meal. So the trick with like we sell flaxseed oil and we sell flaxseed oil pills. You can buy flaxseed meal anywhere now. But the problem is they grind it at time of manufacturing, and then they're putting in these bags, and it is a fat, and so it does oxidize. So I would try to emphasize buying it as a seed, grinding it up in a dry coffee grinder, and then you can use it, part of your recipes or sprinkle it on the food you're eating. Even it's great on top of a salad. So flaxseed meal is right up there. The next one is black elderberry. Now, during the time, well, I guess the COVID time, the pandemic time, elderberry got really famous because it is an antiviral, but it's extremely high in polyphenols and even higher in antioxidants. And elderberry tea, absolutely delicious. The elderberry gummies are super famous, but again, then you're dealing with a little bit of sweetener that will be counterintuitive. But so that's your choice. But black elderberry's next. Another surprising one, which I don't normally consume, I think I've consumed one because my mother-in-law brought it for me during the holidays, is chestnuts. So, chestnuts roasting on open fire. Okay, yeah, I can't sing. No good singing voice. So chestnuts. I don't know, Cliff, do you know, are they available year-round, chestnuts? Or just
if
during
they're not
holidays?
available year-round, you probably got some in a cabinet somewhere from last Thanksgiving.
Right? Yeah, she brought me this huge bag. We put them in the oven and we just let them sit, and we were trying to pretend that it was, 10 degrees outside and cold and snowy, but didn't really work. But yes.
It's hard to pretend it's cold and snowy here in sunny South Florida.
But they're super high in polyphenols and even higher in antioxidants. So, for instance, with chestnuts, it's 1,200 milligrams of polyphenols, but 2,700 of antioxidants. So I think we're going to get ourselves some chestnuts. Chestnuts dipped in dark chocolate.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. I'm getting a little hungry. All right. And so now I call these the predictable ones. Mm-hmm. So like blueberries, black olives, and black olives notably have more polyphenols, almost double than green olives. Okay, so interesting. So black olives, hazelnuts, pecans, strawberries, of course, organic, red wine, and again, definitely you want to get the good one, okay? Coffee, yay, coffee.
Coffee?
It's higher than green tea. And again, it has to be organic to get this polyphenol content, okay? Because if they're spraying it with 300 different pesticides, then the glyphosate, you're basically taking this polyphenol content and it's just plummeting. So you really, and organic coffee is everywhere now. So, and it's super reasonably in price.
Really?
I checked like at Publix, it's like $2 more. I mean, it's really worth it, not to have, you have higher nutrition content, higher polyphenol and antioxidants, and you're not dealing with all those disgusting antifungals, antimicrobials, pesticides.
You notice that coffee from, say, Jamaica tastes different than coffee from Colombia.
Yes. And I am
taste the
definitely, it's so funny because that's how you know things are done right. It's just like if you buy an apple from one side of the country to the other, you can taste the difference. And that's how produce is supposed to be. So again, like I always say, if your budget is tight, then buy quality and buy less of that category, so that way you have room for better tasting and better, more nutrition. All right, so black grapes are on this list pretty high, not regular grapes. I find that I don't really see black grapes that often, but onions, apples, spinach, green tea, and black beans. So that is the highest ones. And again, let's go back to dark chocolate and coffee. Okay. So
Put some of the
I'm
dark
sorry.
chocolate in your coffee.
Oh, all right. So I'm hoping my listeners have their pens and pencils and paper out, okay? Because if you have anyone that has MS, I really emphasize, if they don't know about this doctor already, to kind of get on board with this, because it's absolutely incredible. Her name is Dr. Terry Wall, W-A-H-L. And so she is not only a doctor, but she has MS. And her journey is just, I mean, tears. Just tears should come to any human's eyes when they hear her story. Because in the beginning, with a diagnosis like any autoimmune disease, it's pretty bleak. The medications that are offered usually will definitely not reverse, and it does not stop progression, because, as I always emphasize on the show, most medications, if not all, never deal with root cause. Okay? So autoimmune diseases, definitely, there's so many now, I can't even keep up with all the names. Customers will come and say, oh, I had da-da-da-da, and I'm like, wait, how? What? I mean, I never heard of that. And I'll Google it. It's just another autoimmune disease, okay? And what they're finding is, if you start with one and you take certain meds, and then 5 years later you get another one. So all of a sudden, it's not bad enough that you have one. Now you've progressed after a 10, 15-year time that now you're labeled with, say, 3. So it could be devastating news to yourself and your family. But if you could just take a moment, whether you have MS or not, you definitely want to hear this doctor's story. It's one of hope, inspiration, and MS reversal. So she likes to, because she's a doctor, she's very careful with her words. But at this point, she has run many clinicals. She has philanthropists that have done her program and have reversed their MS. So that way they are donating all this funding so she can do all these amazing clinicals, and story after story after story, years after years. It's absolutely life-changing, incredible. So it doesn't matter if you have Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, diabetes. If you're at a place where you feel like there is no hope, or there's no way I can stop the progression or possibly reverse some, you definitely have to listen to her story. So Dr. Terry Wall, W-A-H-L, and she is so amazing that if you go on her website, okay, she gives her protocol for free. So this is not about you spending thousands of dollars to go see her. And she has that option if you're at that point of any condition where you really feel like you need that daily monitoring. But her protocol is free. There's even on her website, so I think it was Wall's protocol /MS, but I've noticed she's everywhere. She's Facebook, she's Instagram, it's YouTube. Oh my God, hundreds of incredible YouTube videos. So I'm trying to think of, there's one, let's see if I want to do this without having to play it. So here's one. So if you are a YouTube listener, I'm absolutely obsessed with watching all her videos now. It's called How to Reverse Autoimmune Disease and MS with Functional Medicine. Okay, so that's one that she just did about 11 months ago. And so this is absolutely incredible. So Mark Hyman, Dr. Hyman, Hyman, if you don't follow him, I love him as well. So he interviewed her. It is an 1.5-hour interview. She goes over everything in detail. But if you really are not at the mindset to listen that long and you're more of a visual learner, print out it's 9 pages she gives you for free, her entire protocol. And so just to give you the bullet points, it's everything I've always told you on the show. It's healthy keto. So basically, and that's what I use with all my clients if they're open enough to try this approach. So I've always had an issue with keto over the years. One, because I couldn't stick with it. Two, because I always thought, but vegetables. I mean, look at this bountiful world with vegetables. They're incredible. They taste incredible. They're fun to make. And so I couldn't really rationalize a world without vegetables. Well, she really emphasizes that if you pick, of course, organic, non-GMO, polyphenol-rich vegetables, it is part of her protocol, okay? Like my other mentor, Dr. Berg, he's famous for, calling his keto program Healthy Keto, and I am certified in his program. And that is absolutely incredible as well because they incorporate all these vegetables. And so you have to keep in mind, though, if you are embarking on one of these plans, which they're almost identical, okay, as well as mine, it, of course, takes time to have your body get ready for all these changes. So you have to make sure that, for instance, vegetables have tons of cellulose fiber, okay? And we are designed as human beings to break that down in the mouth. So the amylase, all the starch enzymes happen in the mouth. So you really, really have to chew. I've told my chewing story like 100 times on the show, but basically when I went to school for nutrition in Boston, it was like crazy because we had to chew so much that I would start laughing. I could not do it. Like, I mean, even the director, he would chew his soup. It was like, I couldn't maintain that, So really do the best you can, but you have to chew your vegetables. So if you feel like every time you eat a salad, you get gas or bloating, and there is no bacterial issues. So this is just because you just ate too fast, you're in a rush. So if you get like a drive-through salad in your car and you're running to your next appointment and you just really scoff that salad down, I wouldn't be surprised if you have digestive upset. So again, don't blame the veggies. You just got to get your digestive system back up to par. So lots of chewing. Try not to drink with your meals, okay? You don't want to like dilute your enzymes or try to just like, drench your food down your gullet, okay? So you definitely want to chew really good and pick those vegetables that are polyphenol rich, antioxidant rich. And, even if you start with one handful a day, it's better than zero. Okay, just start somewhere. All right. And then remember, too, that when you give your digestive system a break, which we were designed, when we were designed as humans, we didn't have abundant food around us, like at every corner. And snacking is definitely a mindset that you have to kind of just work on. So if you were doing, 3 snacks and grazing all day with your meals, just tell yourself, okay, you know what? Today, I'm not going to eat, 1 hour after my dinner. Start somewhere. It doesn't matter because your digestive system will thank you. It will be like, yay, I have some peace. I can calm down inflammation. I can help absorption. I can move my bowels better. But you do need to give your digestive system a break. No matter what you eat, that tongue sensory, and that's why I hate artificial sweeteners. And you've always hear me say, because if you put something super sweet on your tongue, the duodenum is going to say, yay, look at all this sugar and carbohydrates we have coming in, no matter what it is, and get the pancreas going, get that system going. So you really, really want to limit the times that your body has to turn on, because 80% of our energy is going to go there to that system, and then all of a sudden our mental clarity, our energy levels will decline because it's all being focused on there. So again, try to maybe work on snacking first, maybe cut down how many meals you're doing. I think really that's not the problem in America. I don't think we do too many meals. I think we just graze all day long because we're like, oh, I haven't eaten, and we're running to appointments, we're running at work, and I know that's my biggest issue. It's like, well, there's nothing perfectly healthy to eat, so I just won't eat and I'll graze all day long. And not a great idea, okay? I'm definitely proof of that. You want to really try to get into that whole non-snacking idea and, quality versus quantity. Definitely that. Whew, all right. So, but what's the most important is your motivation, your goals for why you want to make these changes, okay? So yes, you say to yourself, I know better, I want to do better, but then we seem to be in this cycle of not doing better. And I do believe from, the people that I really love and I cherish the words that they say, and luckily so much free on YouTube these days, is that you need a motivation. What is your motivation? Why do you want to be healthy? Why do you want to make better choices? So call it goal, call it motivation. Luckily I'm from a huge family. I'm the youngest of 8, so there's tons of weddings and births, and I'm looking at, my son having a beautiful new baby girl, Luna. I'm like, wait, I want to be around a long time for her. I want to be able to enjoy her. And so it used to be just, I want to fit into that dress at the wedding. But now it's like, all my nieces and nephews are having babies, my own children. And I want to be participating in that life. I don't want to be just sitting at the table feeling sedentary and not in the mood to participate in life. So give yourself some goals, get yourself motivated. Meditation is incredible. Don't forget about meditation, breath work. These are things you can add without worrying about food choices to begin. Thank you so much, everyone. Have an amazing week, and don't forget to listen to Dr. Shipe. All right, bye, everybody.
That's right, Dr. Shipe is coming up. Actually, women's traditional Chinese healing is the topic of his shows these days, and a very fascinating. And Joanne's World of Nutrition is on YouTube. That's right. Check out WPSLTV.com. Like and share and subscribe. And thank you for listening in to Joanne's World of Nutrition every Wednesday morning in the 10 o'clock hour right here on Digital 1590.